What is your name? Richard Phillips, Georgia. Mvskoke Dolwa, Clockwin, don't know, Lega, Okaga, in Mvskoke. I'm the chief for Mvskoke Creek National Mountains Police Department. Where were you raised? Anio, Spagogi, Talo Flacco, Manachula, they do. Adam, a jolly wee dusty Mama Javagi too much. I grew up in Dustin, Oklahoma, and growing up in Dustin, again, like Miss Nellie was saying, you know, we were limited at stores. So there was Gray's and there was Proctor's. So you had one of the two. And Anio, ice cream, but untreated women. Brothers and sisters, I have one brother, Henry, and Old Mulgy, my leg, you know, and truck driver, my dog, my shadow, you know. How did COVID disease affect my community? You know, that Flacco, Anio, unheat, get it all much, and things like that. Jahan Shaki go down. You know, that Jogan, Nita, Ustabag, Mahin, walk it all much. I just say Hotchin, oxygen, and Hoffin, and Mano, and in about 1 month a day, man, oxygen, Mano, I what, I thought not Chavo should do, ma, and Davi Hako, not kind what the Takok JJ do, Chavo was it, Jamedi was it, so, man, and look at the Hakon and heat can be, man, Chanok gauge too much, not, he gets laid, man, Chavo should do. I think I answered about 4 and 5 together. Growing up with the Mvskoke language, my primary language of the home, yes, Manio, Chabojan, and Chaboshimo, but I was in Ponayagin, and then Mahaga de Jogonasen, the hit Kimonaga Ponai, Chogontrolano, Chabojan. Tijari doing, Lapkosa Tijari Monogam, you was to do on Chichi. Both Jab, Chamasi doing much. My grandfather used to get on to me in our language, that was all he spoke was our language. Was Mvskoke language your first language? Yes. I know Dustin kindergarten, Hagajogan, Aleji, Jaya. Nellie Aponai, Roberts, Minor Roberts study, Dijana Bonagaponai, and the hit Kimonogamat Samaha much. Jogan, Pianokonaya Hachichi, Chagate, and Dijani Bonagadongo Simponai, and Mauchahan, Monagalako such a Poponaya Hachichi, Mahaga Jokanam, Chahan, Hoy, Jogan your full gain. The head came upon I, Chahan Hoy, so he told a get about it. Always hang what? Moya, I want unheat to the John Monagapon, I, here, Jimmy Jaya, Saja Hotchki. Adam, he and I don't get an Arthaya, the head came Monaga, Mo Hinklin. The head coach Cinnamona, we Mo Sajapachki. I'm thankful for both worlds that I can speak my language and communicate with my elders like Sister Ellie and Sissy. I'm thankful for that and be able to talk to Coco in our language classes. There was a time growing up, such a doing much. The Johnny Bonapona, the Hitki, on his Salgate, and Chokobit Jagin. Akubanagits, Ambohagen, Chapojadogan. I said, so Kahudin, I'm doing. I said, I don't get an old tree door. And then Ambona and his Sidogan, what's he saying? I said, I gotta work when and so my friends that go play, I had to build a hog pit. Whereas, anh want so can to chin and talk with later don't. I know anh hobby đó man. Si mahaya ka hanay do. So kay di lich ta. Mau konsume ji đúng go. Makan nak mua ba. Nak ai thon pa in mark jersey mau konsume ji do. Chập có chỉ blind mau mà mua nải em không có xe nải đâu they said it's on fire hand away so no so and em không có xe tắc cả lại đâu it's a decision and you said số con mau tắc full lại đâu so I get it to what chi and tắc ra mình không biết sẽ đâu đâu But so yes, it was my first language. Minor Roberts taught me English, and I had to read a book called Tip, and that's how I learned English. And I told my kids that that's how I learned English was being in kindergarten. What was learning English like growing up? Mo, nak cimona ya sih mon, mahal betul kan? Anio cami di bos kita jadi mana ke sabaya, dan mahaya dah sedak kehane, cokon Portland, dia tu mana ke ponaya mau cama sih hoi do mat, lap ko sari jadi mana tak pona do acis mu, cama cama cahani do mat. Mvskoke Church is stiwakli mada atlay don in digana do chuwa pasta man atlay don chapudi mo blame mo digana sahich don so nak wolf get up on high don man wolf get don intla ran gusli do intla hon in the top for right do and so such a pachki
Amen.
Yeah. Mau helt klart, jeg har ikke noget, det gør det, jeg har så kidt lidt ud af det. I sprog i det, så med helt klart tak, jeg har ikke noget, så jeg har bare skidt. Ceremonial bands, mau jeg begge af dem afterwards. Man har lavet det jo. Jeg don Houston Hicks and Nakmawa and Manaf I know much when escape you do much. Can you tell any elders were a positive influence and Chabajama and Romaro much? Knock on my scene and knock some hard on much, so I want my I want unhealed I want knock more like it later to knock some hard normally I want unhealed I get later yeah
Not to me first.
no
You want Zimbabwe, you Chimuna, what's a number?
Yeah, I know just yeah.
Knock on the with the judge already. I don't know what I think I do. Like, I know what's that bag and move not my way. I get fair to what's a number? Do it, keep it, I get fair to do
Manio, more like I know, and hungersing like I know. Adam Chabodam Mark Chat. I said, Nita Rochido, Tijani Monaga, Ponsoma Jahan, Hijich Catles. I want I'm a lock to and chop big when they do I get like that I said them bona ho ya Mvto was I did just get him on an goslis together Chamedi horse get on cha horse hadam na enoch get a slack man mamoin cha horse do and ma cha big and an nok get do not cha horse was sitting bona ho ya in class cha pachki
Mano Tabudari, Enoke the movie, I like it. Stitado Unayaka, and so it's a hundred. Kistadi for the Mummy.
Manoga is saying what to Jadi Monaho, yeah, and they must look like a hug in here, Adam, not more like a Okchan Margaret. Poor higher, Masaka Girungo, the Monahoya. Always, Manita, I try to keep encouraging him. Always, not Amonaho, and I said, hey, a man, when I the door. And Church did Wascon or Jiba doing that challenge bow off, and she said, I'm on edgy, huh? I said, hey, she's on edgy way there. So she said, but in my high, she said, introductions, man major done to so she my high and Mvskoke gun Holloway, Arthur, and Eddie Hagen. I was back here. He to Mvskoke start shaking. She said, Brianna, Jahoja got up. Where's Wasco and Jahoja pocket up? Keith little with the Wasco. So, much like John Patchkin. Me, that was done for now, yes. Me, such a Patchkin. How important is it on Mvskoke youth? I think I just touched that. It's very important. I'm thankful our youth are learning, but I'm thankful for Nellie and Sissy and all of our elders that we can help in correcting our language, because it's all in the expression. Like I was telling Dr. Randall, we can speak our language from a book, but when we were taught it at home from our elders, when they taught us how to talk it at home, we didn't learn it from a book. That was all we were around. Men eget lässtående de går. So when we talk to our youth, I talk to my kids and I try to tell them how we would say it. And when I see the young ones that are learning now, I want to encourage them to keep speaking, because I don't want our language to go, because Miss Nellie and Sissy aren't going to be here, nor am I. We won't be here forever, and all our Creek language speakers will go. But if we can keep teaching our youth to learn and stress the importance to learn, we're going to survive. Our language will always survive.
So what do you think about technology and teaching through that? Like these recordings. That's part of it, is to preserve the language so that maybe we can, hear the language being spoken and maybe learn through that way through the use of this technology.
Hey, only not that. Hey, sitting on our yeah, not that. Hey, though. Hey, time sitting on our do. Not the job in one of them. Manitaga. Get ho ya no haste though. Anime computers mo I'm learning. anh có xử lý đồ computer đó anh em mẹ nắp phố chế trên bí chế đây rồi mà nắp thật mình chắc của đó and anh bị ra cái mình oh dad let me show you how to do it on my phone I can get my phone to do everything anh em mẹ I said I just want to call and text but technology is good us speaking our language and this being on here like I said earlier, you know, there's going to come a time when we're not going to be here, but this says we'll be here. And then at someday, hopefully her grandkids, my grandkids, our kids will say, that was my grandma. I want to learn what my grandma said. And I'd hope my kids would do that, my grandkids would do that. You know, that was Papa. I want to know what Papa knows. And like I said earlier, my grandfather said our language is going to go away, and then I would see that day. Like me and Miss Nellie was saying, you know, that day's here. But by doing this, in our tijari monaga, Jimmy me jicha Mvskoke. So you keep doing that, you keep getting it out there, and you always have. Utilize me and Nellie as much as you can for our tijari monaga, not mowaga. While you have us, because Anio, Chaboja, backyard, I beat the shot leg and I said, Duski on lega. So I'd go sit down. I said, knock your down, and then sat there and he'd cross his leg. And it's not Amonayan. Chamanito. I couldn't sit there. I kept looking. He said, no, get in. I said, "Klak on legged and church, no?" He said, I want legged. I told him I wanted to go ride my horse. So he's like, go on then. But he said, there'll be a day you'll want to learn this. That day's here. I'd give you anything sat under that tree now with you. I'm thankful for Miss Nellie to be able, and Miss Sissy to be able to say her name. It was so uplifting to be able to sit here and talk our language and talk to Miss Mona. It's always good to share our language. And I'm always thankful and happy to be able to help you with your youth or speak our language in any way. You know, I'm just thankful. When I went to Washington, D.C., I thought a young man from Dustin, Oklahoma was in Washington, D.C. among all those justices, and I introduced myself in Mvskoke language.
So along that same lines, I had a question for you.
Okay.
So, with your position as chief of police, and, being a first language speaker, what do you think of, or can you describe, tribal sovereignty, or, what does that mean? How could you express that in the Mvskoke language? What is that? Is there words for that, or, given the, inherent sovereignty, for Mvskoke people is our language and our culture and traditional practices that, have been here since before the United States. So the United States doesn't grant us sovereignty. Nobody grants us sovereignty. The Creator does. The Creator gave us this language and this culture and these practices that still continue today. And so how do we express that to Washington D.C. and the governor of Oklahoma who think that they can govern a people whenever we have a sovereign right, we have this inherent right from our Creator, and we're still practicing that today.
Igan datka lakka tihet kokta umiyaja ki godo hey umigana do Moin, see a guy chandaway, here, who may gonna, but Ponocto, not more Margaret, is hit get a raka. Mamma, Pom man, Pomhoya de do, a jolagi. Here, Mikosaka Joga Polia, Magia, Matihetko, Spomahaya de do. Is head get a down, a slackerman. My man, Pomhoya de do, Pola jolagi. Where's hang on sovereignty marcha. Adam, the head go, Pomio Jago. Moin, say it jugging, man, knock, Pomi Gia, Pon Yitching, Pon High, the Jagido. Always, don't go away. It is about the other. Ida.
Not muy Marano, Washington DC, there's a governor Marco, so. What do we get to, like you say, trying to make it hard on us? And one day, it's already done.
Dying of just, gotcha.
Just to know if we are going to get to know it's on the door it's like. Do we start off mistreated? Do we need on here? That's a lot of people. We are keep everything
I want.
We'll let it on. We'll win Monday.
I want the head go hijab to here, Pomigana do, Ya Jago do.
Tuski, when I don't get a good girl, you do was that. Still trying to put it up for now, or you know.
Oste Maha Otedo, Hokage, Ponahu, you know. I'm getting Duck Creek, when I take on did she? Where's Austin Otedo? Where's when I go you go on West, Tijani Panaga Poho on the mark. Get out, you know, and you want him on who I do. Was and get for you do knocking them on I know and get for you do. I'm getting chop talking mo Amador Kedon, Hadam and Secretary Mo chop talking on so sit him on you know. So he's do West Austin or Jado.
But still trying to put it up. Or I know what state when I chat. I'm an 80 doors.
Anio, Chigecha is a Jamedi horse, get chow horse, you know, sitting Bona, we had never debugged like the Saja Pachke.
Anybody have any other questions you'd like to ask him? And I called him Trisky because
That's his nickname.
that's his nickname. I didn't know Richard was his real
I
name.
didn't either.
That's this, my OBS is sitting Bona, and also, it just the chippy. She was, she said, Mama Keith the chance, she said no, and Jabo Dance and Jabo Simon and Mona, and she said, oh, get for I'll say no much. I said, Tuskin man, Jahodeba, you know, she said, oh, she will say no. So she didn't know me, she says Richard, but she knew me as Tuskin. And like Jeff, Moagat, that's all they knew me as was Tuskin growing up. So, and it sounds funny to hear them call me Richard, because they always call me Tuskin.
You
Where's
know, Moedo,
that?
in the other famous nicknames when we was growing up. And that's all you know by their nicknames. Well, just because of the professor, they don't even know who it is.
I knew.
Yeah, I got some cousins, I didn't even know their name, their real names, or their English name.
Always more get on, but that's how we used to. What you later they do.
What does just mean? Did I want to
Trouble don't get that woodpecker. You won't see that. He got child in. Man, child did for me.
Anda produksi luta produksi besar nanti great uncle
and nickname Bốc bộ đua thì hết câu gì đấy nó cứ chụp cái đua Coco đua thì đó has the head câu gì đấy Coco so Coco just stuck with me it was supposed to be football because they said when I PTO when they said I was round like a ball mà đi có gì tôi chính xác
Mano.
mà đó cái gì đó cũng là chính xác